Macy had just turned 18 and wanted to go on a road trip. So, her and her friends were basically going to travel to a couple of places because, before they started college, they wanted to have an adventure. So, Macy, Caroline, and Jamie all decided to go on this road trip. So, a day into the trip, everything was fine. The second day, as they were driving, they seen a little girl basically waving for somebody to stop. And Jamie and Caroline told Macy that maybe she should stop because, this is a little girl and why is she alone without her parents? So they thought maybe she was a runaway. So Macy stopped. The little girl gets in the car and they start talking to her. She tells them her name is Annie. So, first, everything's going good. They're all talking, chatting about life and the future. And the little girl says she's only 10. And they ask her, where her parents are. And she tells them that her parents had passed away and she ran away from a foster home. So they decided that, they're going to let her hang out with them a little bit and then they're going to find out, where to take her. So she hangs with them for a little bit. But then things become weird. The little girl starts asking him questions that a little girl normally wouldn't. She asked him a lot of questions about dying, how do they want to die and all that. And the girls are creeped out, but they think she's no harm because she's still a little girl. So as the night goes on, the girls decide to stop so they can, get some sleep. So they all stop at a hotel. And at this point, they're scared of the little girl, but again, they think she's just a little girl. Nothing's going to happen. So they let her stay with them. But then things turn more weird. Things go missing from the girl's purse. Some things that they had just were going missing. And they didn't know why. They wasn't blaming the little girl because, again, she was a little girl, so she was no harm. So they thought. So they get back on the road, and the little girl pulls out this knife. And they're all freaked out, but she's like, oh, I won't hurt you. So they tell her to put the knife away. They don't, want to be around a knife. So she puts the knife away. As they're driving, and as it's getting darker, they look behind them, and the little girl's gone. So they're freaked out because the one girl who was beside her, she said she didn't open the door or nothing, so how did the little girl get out? So they're very creeped out. This little girl has creeped them out, the whole ride, but obviously her disappearing is way creepy. Well, as time goes on, they sort of, put it at the back of their mind. They're a little creeped out, but they're having fun and they don't want to think about this. So the next day, as they start driving again, and as it becomes night, and one of the girls Jamie, who's in the front seat, looks behind and sees the little girl again. She wakes the other one in the back seat up, Caroline, and all of a sudden, the girl is not a little girl anymore. She turns into this man, this creepy man, like a demon. And after that, the girls were never seen again. They don't know what happened. The girls just was never seen.